I want to talk to you about the importance of how you treat your hours and your time. And I want to show you tonight, I think they've got this hooked up for me. I didn't want to use my personal one for obvious reasons, but there it is. This is a little different. Change the screen orientation. I don't like the. Okay, we can do it this way is fine. I've never met a poor person who valued their time. That's why they'll sell it so cheap. I never met a wealthy person who did not value their time. And what I'm going to share tonight is critical to your sense of significance. It's critical to your finances. And I have yet to go to a prosperity conference where they taught on it. I have yet to go to a church service where they taught on it. Every equation has a different function and a purpose. The equation for productivity is not the equation for peace. The equation for financial success is different than the equation for relationships. You can know a whole lot about something and know nothing about it. Michael Jordan, incredible basketball player, but he couldn't swim. You can know a lot about one thing and know nothing about another. And this is an area that is so unaddressed, and it's astounding. It's so blind. I want to walk you through some basics. You that are joining us by the internet, we're thrilled that you're wherever you are. Your emails mean the world to us. We read them. We look at them. We examine them. We gloat when you brag. We throw it in the trash when you criticize us. Literally. But it means a lot. I want to say hello to my precious baby sister, Deborah, who is the passion for our books, my tapes, my books. I wouldn't even be writing what I'm writing if it wasn't for her. She said, if you'll write it, I'll publish it. And what a blessing she is. And she told me about 3 or 4 hours ago, she said, I'm sitting here waiting for you to come on. The mentorship moments. You have no right to anything you haven't pursued, and seeking qualifies you. Seeking qualifies you. The upper room experience. 500 received the instruction, 120 followed it. That qualified them. I'm not worried about who shows up on Thursday and who doesn't. It's the seeker who qualifies for the material, for the information. It's the seeker. The non-seeker hasn't earned it. The woman who had an issue of blood for 12 years said, if I can touch the hem of his garment, I know I'll be made whole. The blind man cried out, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. Zacchaeus climbed up in the tree. You have no right to anything you haven't sought. The reward of pain is the birth of desire. The reward of pain is the birth of desire, the birth of passion. Pain is an instrument for change. Does it create change? It creates a desire for change. Pain is a part of God's world because it incubates desire. Thanks. Should it be the other way? Okay. Thanks. I'm a pretty good mind reader, aren't I? She is. Yeah, okay. Don't you wish everybody was that quick here? Thank you. Wonderful. Great. Thanks. Pain has a purpose. God uses it. And the purpose, the divine function of pain is to seek a change, to seek a cure. seek an experience. You don't want to hide your pain from those you're mentoring. You want to let them know where you hurt, where you went wrong, the experiences you made. And probably one of the greatest contributions of a mentor and one of the rewards of close access, because the public only hears the victories generally. But the protege gets to know the pain and eliminates 1,000 heartaches. Where you went wrong, things that happened, things you would do over again differently, things you wish you could look at differently. Your goals decide the worth of your time. Your goals decide the worth of your time. You might want to throw some of those up there before we start. In fact, I'm going to probably do about 3 or 4 minutes on what time is all about before we get in this time management system. Until you set goals, there's no reason to value time. One day is as much like another. But your goals decide how much value you should put to an hour. I like President Bill Clinton and President George Bush both said that they look at problems and assess how much time it's worth of their attention. One of the most important things in your life is to distinguish the fact that everything has a different value. As important as your hair is, it's not as vital as your heart, though you may spend 2 hours on your hair and 10 minutes on your heart. But your hair is not as important as your heart. And it's incredibly critical in your life that you recognize the differences in things around you. This has more value than this. This has more value. And every day you have to walk away from something that matters in exchange for something that matters more. You're constantly exchanging your time. Constantly. If I teach here on Thursday nights, I have to give up several things. It's almost an hour, 40 minutes to get here, arrange, get things. So this is a solid 4-hour experience for me. My bills are $18 million a year, reduced to $9,000 an hour. So my time in my mind is $9,000 an hour. It costs me roughly $36,000 of my time to teach you. I'm not raising and offering 36 people who will give 1,000. But I do put a value on my time, probably as much as any human I personally met in my lifetime. I haven't met anybody in my lifetime, in my opinion, who's more sensitive about time, hours, moments. That's why I will go past the 20 and 40 minutes on Sunday, because to me, that extra hour in His presence is worth 1,000 meals at Golden Corral. Because what happens in His presence will not happen at Chili's and McDonald's in the afternoon. I try to romance the moment, meaning extract all the pleasure in the present moment, wherever I'm at. Whatever's in this environment, tonight, drinking, knowing the day will come, Daddy will not stand here. Knowing the day will come. I don't care if he does introduce 3 different songs and decides number 4 or 3. That don't make any difference to me. I told him the other day, I said, Daddy, don't worry. He said, now, what day? I said, don't worry about it, Daddy. I'm your memory right now. You don't need one. I got one for you. He's been waking up not knowing which day of the month, what month it is. I said, don't worry. So we went over to Sharper Image and to get him one of those clocks that says Thursday. And I said, Daddy, you think that's a problem of 88, but I'm 59, and I've got that problem. I wake up in a new world every day, and I click on what day is this. I look at my computer to see what day it is. Time is the only real gift God gave you to exchange for anything else He promised. Time is the only true gift God gave you to exchange for anything else He promised. It takes time to confess your need of God. It takes time in His presence. God didn't give us friendships, He gave us time, and we sowed it into people and created relationship. I want to walk you through this, though you've heard it swiftly in seminars. I don't want to give you a high and lofty thing about time and, all this, time is a vapor, the scriptures and all those things. But I want you to get a hold of this. Whatever you don't have, you have been unwilling to exchange your time for. Whatever you don't have is something you have not yet felt was worthy of exchanging your time for it. When Dr. Cirillo asked me to speak to his board of elders in his once-a-year meeting there in Palm Desert, I knew that was 2 days of my time. Flying out Tuesday, coming back Wednesday, 2 days for an hour and a half of teaching. 2 days. But to me, it had a value. It had a time. And you constantly, I won't do this, I won't do this, I won't meet with this person, I won't return this phone, this is what I'll do. Last night, before the service, he said, can we go have a meal after service? I don't really like going out for meals. I don't really like eating meals with everybody. Watching what's in their mouth, them seeing what's in my mouth, enduring trivia, having to listen to things that have no part in your goals in your future. How many know what I'm talking about? How many, who? It is so painful to listen to conversation that doesn't fit with your world. Painful. It's painful. If you have goals and dreams, if you have nowhere to go, that's probably your circus for the day. But I said, why don't we wait till after the service to see how you feel? And when I walked in my hotel room at 1:25, I meditated on what he and his precious wife, and what a woman of God she is, Teresa, as they shared the experiences they had, including when they came back from some great crusades, gone for weeks. A hose had disconnected from their washing machine, filled their entire house with water, walls crumbling, over $250,000 loss, while they were preaching the gospel. And she looked at me and she says, well, if you got a rubber hose, get rid of it. And she started telling me what I need to do. Of course, you bet you're alive here. What? Because he was sharing with me how concerned, how upset he was over the fire and the things that had happened. But I meditated on getting out of that time. Now, when I'm there in that meal, knowing millions of people would love to have a meal with Dr. Morris Cirillo, but extracting from that environment, we call it romance the moment, seeing the distinctive difference in a moment. One of the greatest revelations God ever gave me happened uniquely. I was somewhere like in England, I forget where I was, and I suddenly didn't want to come home. Didn't know where I wanted to go, but I didn't want to come home. And now some of you can understand that if you're married to a witch or a grouch. But I was single, didn't want to come home and see myself in the mirror. Single. So I just looked and I asked the ticket counter lady. I says, tell me something. I said, what's a good place to fly to? Where's a good place to go? She said, oh, I think Jamaica's a wonderful place. So she had something on the billboard. I thought I'd been everywhere, and I actually had been to Jamaica on a cruise ship. I was writing the book Dream Seeds, and that was the only time I got off the ship. And I walked on board and walked on Jamaica, got off, and I said, I'll do it. And God gave me the most profound revelation on the importance of a moment. Can you put this on the screen at all? Or you're stuck till I get, or you're pretty well limited to this? Oh, you can't do it right now. But this is the joy is the reward, is the immediate reward for discerning the divine deposit in the immediate moment. Joy is the reward, it's the immediate reward, for discerning the divine distinction or the divine difference or the divine deposit in the immediate moment. Every moment is like a live organism that God sends to you, and it camouflages and disguises a divine gift from God. And if you can discern what God has packaged in that moment, it will introduce you to other moments that God has planned for you. And if you do not discern the divine function of those moments, it will sulk and pout and become very uncomfortable. Look at every moment. Now, some people say a moment's 2 seconds. Some say it's 4. I have no idea what a moment is. Just a moment. But if you will look at every moment as a messenger from God that contains a distinct deposit that no other moment has ever brought to you. If you'll look at life, time, hours, as living things that God has given you as His gift, and they contain something you must discern in that moment. You've heard me say it was in California that God began to make that so real, and my sister, several of us, got up one morning in California and fixing to come back home, and I thought, I don't have to be back home. My sister's here, my brother's here, my older brother's here, my younger brother's here, my dad's here. They'd never been to Disneyland, so I took them to Disneyland that day. That's where I introduced Daddy to the roller coaster. White as a sheet coming off that. And as we started, I think something hit me. I don't know if I should have done this or not. All that. I hadn't thought about his age being a factor. I just thought he hadn't had this experience. He's been in the upper room, but he hadn't been to Disneyland. Next day I woke up, this is so unique for me to have my brothers and sisters in different, this is so different, this may not happen for another 20 years. So we went to SeaWorld in San Diego. Next day I woke up, they'd never been to Rodeo Drive, Hollywood, the Beverly Wilshire Hotel. They'd never eaten there. Well, shoot, I've been around the world. So now this is what they could see. Because that was a distinct, and it's true, that's been several years and it's never happened again. If you can discern the divine difference of an immediate moment, what God has hidden in it, because all of His gifts arrive disguised and camouflaged, so only the discerning qualify to extract them. Everything you don't have is something you've been unwilling to exchange your time for. A clean closet, a small waist. Pastor, you were under the anointing and you just left it. You just left it when you talked about the waistline. Guy told me one day, says, I know the reason you don't exercise is because you don't have time. Has nothing to do with it. I hate exercise. It takes every kind of motivation. I buy running magazines, weightlifters. Woo. I listen to music. Come on, something. Get me going. Get me going. And I am most motivated by pain, hospital visitation. Let me understand that. That's what I got to exercise. I really got to exercise. Or those moments that you're willing to look at yourself in your birthday suit when nobody is there, and you say, "This cannot be happening to me," but it is. It is happening to you. Thank God for clothes. I know why God arranged. I don't think the devil's behind clothes. I think that was the only way we could bear ourselves, maybe one another. It's just time. I don't want to use my time that way. I had the same 24 hours. There was a 2-year period in my life when I fasted 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. During that time, I got up to actually running 5 miles a day. It was a marvelous time in my life. It was during that time that God gave me the revelation of the 24-volt golden boxcars, that your life is like a train on a track. You were built for movement. And that word movement's critical. It's the first thing that we knew that the Holy Spirit did is he moved. Genesis 1:2. The key to health is movement. You ought to get Jeannie Callis's book, Temple Talk, both volumes, phenomenal books on health. The movement of food through your body, the digestive process. They tell me, I don't know this, but they say 80% of all the diseases originate in the colon or through the indigestion or the digestive process. Movement of your body, exercise. All the pills they're selling have a little disclaimer. Have you noticed that? Take this pill, you'll lose 40 pounds. I lost 80 pounds, I lost 20 pounds. What was the key? I took this pill, along with a little exercise. Well, yeah, I don't even need the pill. If I could exercise, I wouldn't even need the cotton picking pill. That's the whole point. If I could buy a motivation pill, I'd pay $30 for it. I'd probably pay $100 for a motivation pill. How many understand that? Just get me motivated. Just get me going. We all have the same amount of hours. God showed me my life was like a train on a track that moves toward the cities of accomplishment and the cities of success. And every morning, I have 24 golden boxcars, and the 24 golden boxcars on my train decide the distance and the speed my train moves toward the village in the future. The accomplishments of the future. If I don't decide what happens in my 10 o'clock boxcar, somebody else will decide. If I don't decide what happens in my 12 o'clock boxcar, somebody else will decide. If you don't plan a day, somebody else will. Think of the days you planned that somebody else still planned your day. It's critical that you learn how to exchange your time. You may be selling your time right now for $6 an hour, $10 an hour, $12 an hour, $50 an hour, $100 an hour. I don't know what you sell your time for, but you must start putting a value on your time. What are you willing? 1 hour of your brain, 1 hour of your creativity, 1 hour of your ideas. What will you exchange it for? Now, if you say, well, shoot, I won't sell my time $50 an hour, that's fine. But if somebody that does just what you do comes up to the boss and said, I'll sell mine for 48, you got a deal. How many understand that? Your time, it's everything. Garbage man, $12 an hour. An attorney, $200 an hour. Two different, why? Their time has a different value because of the problem they're capable of solving. Now, what makes your time, what helps you manage time? Your goals. Your goals have everything to do. If my goal is to write a book in 30 days, 7 days, that changes the value of my time. What are your goals? I cannot get you to value time until I can get you to establish specific, definable goals with deadlines. This is what I do and I want to do in January. This is what I want to do in the next 24 hours. This is what I want to do in the next 7 days. I must have you put a value. And we're not time conscious people. The average person is not time conscious. What time you got here? I don't know. I don't wear one. I don't like watches. I cannot place significance in your life. I cannot place significance until time, God's gift to you that he gave you, begins to matter to you. And nobody else is going to put a value on your time because nobody else has your goals. That's why they drop by your house and had an hour to kill. And they always want to kill your hours when they kill theirs. Just had an hour to kill. I thought I'd kill a little time. If you can't plan a day, how could you plan your life? Now, I want to walk you through this, and I want to show you how. I'm going to use the Franklin Covey time management system because I think they're probably the best one that's out there. And I'll show you how that works. And they have it in paper if you like 3-ring notebooks. If you would rather use the tablet PC, and I'm going to urge you to invest in some kind of portable laptop, because you need an information system for the wisdom that you're gaining. You want to use your mind for creativity and use your computer for storage. Information that's not retrievable is not usable. You want to be able to retrieve it. If you ask me, it's on my Apple, not this other one, but if you ask me, do you have your notes for July 1986, 1984, 88? With 2 or 3 clicks, I can retrieve everything God gave me in Revelation that day, the scriptures I studied. And you want to be able to start putting value to your time. Benjamin Franklin was a genius at this. He owned a bookstore, a little print shop, little books, sold books. Man walked in one day. He said, "I'd like to buy this book. How much is it?" It's $1. The guy said, "I want to see the owner. I want to see the manager." So they called Benjamin Franklin. I never tire of the wisdom of God. Wisdom is the ability to recognize difference, right and wrong, evil and righteousness, difference in people, difference in a countenance, difference in a moment, like the blind man crying out to Jesus. The dominant purpose for wisdom. And don't you love the wisdom of God? So thankful you're listening today and watching and being a part of the internet, telling others about it. And I hope you're getting, by the way, I hope you're getting my daily podcast every single day on your iPod or your MP3. Every single day, 2 minutes of wisdom. Be a blessing. Sometimes I go a little over because I get excited. I want you to be a part of this ministry. I believe that when you get involved with God, he gets involved with you. I am one of the ministers of the gospel who believe the words of Jesus. I believe every word he said. When he told Peter that there would be 100-fold return on any investment in the gospel, in Mark 10, 28 through 30, I believed him. When the word of God says in Malachi 3, that if I bring the tithe, which is 10% of my income, and the offering back to him, that he would open the windows of heaven and pour me out a blessing I don't have room enough to receive, I believe him. Why would I believe God about heaven and hell and not believe him about the blessing of the Lord? I want to pray over the seeds that you have been planting in this ministry. And by the way, I have an incredible gift you're going to love. In fact, it's probably one of the greatest gifts I've ever offered. We're asking the Holy Spirit for 300 partners this week who will set aside a seed of $300 for our outreaches. I need your help. I want you to help me. Not just to feed 1,000 children a day, which we do, or 1,000 families, or underwrite the Wisdom of Asia Bible College, or to underwrite the tent factory in South Africa, or the Home of Hope, but that we can go into 100 countries with the gospel. I'm holding in my hand the Wisdom Quick Scan Bible. The Wisdom Quick Scan Bible. I have never in my life found a Bible easier to read. As you know, for many years I've read the Bible through 40 chapters a day every single month of my life. There is no easier book to read than this Quick Scan Bible. When I found out that I could offer it to you inside of some of the teaching that I've been doing and I'll do today, I want you to have it. Call me right now, plant your seed of 300 and watch God move. If you ask me, it's on my Apple, not this other one, but if you ask me, do you have your notes for July 1986, 1984, 88? With 2 or 3 clicks, I can retrieve everything God gave me in Revelation that day, the scriptures I studied. And you want to be able to start putting value to your time. Benjamin Franklin was a genius at this. He owned a bookstore, a little print shop, little books, sold books. Man walked in one day. He said, "I'd like to buy this book. How much is it?" It's $1. The guy said, "I want to see the owner. I want to see the manager." So they called Benjamin Franklin from his business. He walks out there and said, "Yes, sir." He said, "How much is that book?" Said, it's the price is on there. It's $1. And the man started offering negotiation. Said, now, how much would you get for him now? And Benjamin Franklin said, $1.25. The man said, "You just got through saying $1." He said, "Yes, but now you've used up part of my time, and now it's $1.25. The man argued again, started trying to find out how he could buy the book elsewhere, and he could do this. He finally came back and says, now how much would you sell it?" Benjamin Franklin said $1.50. Those who waste your time destroy your dreams. Destroy your dreams. Those who waste your time are destroying your dreams. I don't do counseling. I just don't do it. That's what my books are about. That's why I got tapes. Everything I know is already in the books. Look it up. Look it up. It's there. It's in my tapes. Well, I don't want to listen to tapes. Well, I don't want to sit there and tell you what I already said 50 times either. If I have an appointment with somebody, I want to know what we're discussing. Why are we here? I'm not going to return a phone call to somebody who says, "I want to talk to you." Well, you just had a chance. You had a chance to, in fact, leave the message. You had a chance for me to hear it. Are you with me? Don't play with time. It's precious. It's holy. It's what God gave you to exchange. God didn't give you money. He gave you time. You exchange it for money. You went to a boss and you said, "I'll give you my 8 hours if you'll give me this much money." I bought 6 books on time management and organizing to save time this week. I've already got probably books on that, but I know they're always making discoveries. Someone's always finding out something I didn't think about before. If you can't plan a day, how could you plan your life? If you can't make one day go right, how can you make your life go right? So we end up making these little lists. Got a piece of paper here. I want to write this. I got to remember this. I got to remember this. And at the end of the week, you got these at least 35 pieces of paper. Let me understand that. Some of them now have ink smeared on a phone number. I know that's never happened to you, but sometimes when you write somebody's phone number in ink, it will smear, and now you don't have the phone number. An address, and that's smeared. You find that piece of paper in the bottom. Someday I'll tell you an illustration. This illustration I'm just dying to tell you. It's if you don't take the time for the things that matter. Take the time for the things that matter. And that's the purpose of managing a day. Not done. To get the right things done. There are not enough hours to get everything done. Your desires are eternal. Your time isn't. Your creativity, the things you want to accomplish, is for eternity. You've got 24 hours, basically 8. If you sleep 8 hours, work 8 hours, now you've got 8 in a day to decide. So I think you need to learn to have one place and work with a calendar in view. A calendar in view. A calendar with hours. Now, let me show you something here. Are you able? Oh, good. Okay, here we are. Let's see if I'm right here. I'm going to take this, put it back to make it a little bigger. Here we are. If you see, yes, good. This is the 30th of June. Okay, let's just say that today I needed to talk to Pastor Chris. Now, I open this up. I'm going to choose the size. I like colors. So I'm going to open this up and I want to call, still not thick enough. I'm going to call Pastor Chris. Okay? I need to check with Jenny Craig. Okay? I want to read, well, today's the last day of the month. It was Revelation 1 through 22 is my Bible reading. Tomorrow's July the 1st. Now, I want you to watch something. I want to call Pastor Chris at 3 o'clock. Now, I've started my list. Do you see? And I can link that daily task to any time I want to, but I have one place for the things I want to do that day. Okay, guess what? I'm not going to be able to get to Jenny Craig today, so I'm just going to make that, and I want you to watch this, I want to make that instead, I'm going to put something here. I can make that, I can put literally a priority. Is that a B3? Is that a C3? I can create my priorities. And if you don't know what to do first, you will never succeed with your life. There's a difference. Are you with me? There's a difference in task and their need. Now, I was at a place a few weeks ago where they said, can we mail the honorarium check to you? I said, sure. It's never got here. So I put up here, new task. I want to do a new task. I won't name the place. I still don't like, I usually use a thicker pen on mine, so let me go back to, I like a thicker pen, not quite the blue I want. Now, so I'm going to put call honorarium. Now, I want to make that on my master tab. I'm not going to do it today, but I don't want to forget it. So I click right here. Can you see where it says master? Can you see that? Yeah, oh, good. I don't know what you can see. Next is to take a spelling class. Okay? And mind you, I've never taught this before in my life. I just live by it, but I don't teach it. So this is a master task. What happens now, watch my little stylus. I'm going to go back and look at my daily task. Where's my daily task? There's a list of my daily task. I want another, let's see, I want another appointment. mentorship moments. Now, I'm doing this because you need a calendar already established for you just to fill in. Don't draw a new calendar up every day. Now, it's 8:20. I'm going to say, we're going to cover that much time now. View detail. I can make that an all-day event. I can make it 2 hours. I can make it anything I want to. Or notice this little says, can you see reoccurring? It's every Thursday night. So I want weekly, every Thursday night. It's already clicked. It's there. And now every Thursday it'll come up. Do you follow me? Are you following that? If you can't plan a day, how can you plan your life? Where do you keep? You need one master list. And let me tell you the purpose of this master list. Let's go back to this master list. I've got on there call honorarium. Another thing on my master list, Daddy. Daddy saw a Bible at my house that he likes. Daddy wants me to buy him a new Bible. I can't do it tonight. Don't know that I'll do it tomorrow, but it's on my master list. Do you follow me? Your master list is a list of everything you want to accomplish, everything you want to do. I'm looking for gold ink because I want to start doing all my stuff in gold. Are you there? There's certain things I want. Okay, there's another thing, and I'm doing this. This is on my master task list. It's not something I have to do today. Anything that I have to do, anything I want to do, anything I remember to do. And I'm not using mine, so this is new. I've got to put batteries in Daddy's clock that I bought him. May not do it tonight, but it's on my master list. Are you with me? It's my master list. It's there. Daddy's going to really like this. He's been wanting me to cut a gate in my fence so he can walk over to my house. I think that extra walk day is keeping you alive walking that long. Now, need some estimates for that. Can't do it today, but it's on my master list. Do you see that? What am I doing? Now, suddenly, tomorrow morning, I look over this long list, which I have maybe 200 on my master list. I look over the master list of everything I need to do, and I said, you know what? I need to get that battery. I can do that today. So, I open this up. There's Daddy's clock. I want to take that off the master list. And now, it's on to see this. I want to do that tomorrow. I'm going to do that tomorrow. So I'm going to put it on July the 1st. Now let's go to July the 1st. And now there's July. Is this 2-5? Yes. I'm going to go to July the, I think I am. There's Daddy's clock on the daily list. Do you follow me now? You can move things back and forth. You can't do everything, but you don't want to enter any task more than once. You don't want 5 different pieces of paper saying I need to do this. Now, I'm taking Spanish as long as I've got courage. I'm taking Spanish. There is no devil in my life made things harder than me deciding to learn Spanish. I can't think. I thought, Lord, if I spent this much energy on anything else in my life, there's no telling what I'd become. But now watch this. It's every Thursday from 4 to 6. So watch this appointment. It's a new appointment. Spanish. What time? Are you with me? Now, it's reoccurring. It's every Thursday. I hope you can you see all that? I just tap weekly. Thursday. It's every Thursday. Now, when I get to next Thursday, on let's say July the 7th, there it's already there. My birthday's April the 18th. I can enter that birthday as a... Whose birthday's next? July 13th, my sister Flo. Okay, I want to show you something. I'm going to the 13th. It's my sister Flo's birthday. Watch me. New appointment, new task. I'll make it an appointment. Okay. Flo. I don't want to take up the day, so I'm going to make it an all-day event, which means I'll show you where it shows up here. Now, is it reoccurring? Yes. It's July the 13th every year. It's yearly. July. I think this is right. Occurs every July 13th, if you can see that, effective. Now it's there, and I never have to enter it again. Now let me show you where it comes up on that day. Well, there it is. On the 13th, it comes up right there. It's not a specific time. It is something that happens that day. Now, how many do not use this Franklin Covey system? You do not use this at all. Lift a hand high. You do not use it. How many do use this system every day of your life? Okay, about 6 of us. Do you see the value of it? Now, contacts, that's addresses. Let's add, let's say, here's what I call, there's a new tab. I'm going to enter a new tab on this line. And what I want my tab to be is team, people I want to talk to. Watch this. Now see the tab? Now let's just say I have something. I'm going to tap. I want to create a page just for Pastor Chris. Okay? Now, let's just use this experience. There it is. Deborah, are you watching? I want to tell Deborah about the ministers. Actually, we got a whole nother series I want to come out called The Wisdom Notes of Mike Murdock, where I just want to put all my Bible notes in hardback edition. And it's not going to be for sale. It's going to be a gift for partners, so you can't buy them anywhere. Like there's 24 books I want to do called The Wisdom Notes of Mike Murdock. Now, this is a little eraser, so if I want to get fancy that day, Now, I've got an idea here. I don't know whether to put it at the bottom or the top, so I'm going to I'm doing a little design to talk to her about, and leave this part for imprinting a partner's name in gold. Oh, I just thought of something else. Now, what am I doing? I'm in a restaurant or I'm anywhere, and suddenly I remember, I wonder if Pastor Chris ever called Pastor Art about the baptism. We've been trying to find a baptismal tank for about 33 years now. Now, I don't have to grab a piece of paper from somebody. My pen doesn't work. Do you have a piece of paper? I don't have to go to somebody and say, would you remind me to tell Pastor Chris to talk to Pastor Art about that baptismal? See, I don't have. It's there, and it's always there. It's there. Now, suddenly I remember that I want to talk to Deborah about that baptismal. See this little lasso? What's that little, see that little lasso? I'm going to lasso that, copy it on Deborah's page. So I can mention that to her too. Are you following me? You don't want to enter a task. Remember, your goal here is to sculpture a phenomenal day and duplicate it. Your goal is not to stagger from day to day, week to week, wondering what the future holds. I don't know what the future holds. Well, it hadn't happened. You got to decide it. So, I don't know who holds, but I know who holds my hand. Well, it's possible for you to plan your experiences. The purpose of an experience is to birth a lifestyle. There's a whole other teaching on that. I can't really change your life until I change how you view a day, because this is your life. You kidding? No, my future. Hallelujah! I can't wait. My future. Today is the 10 years later you talked about 10 years ago. This is it. You're here. You kidding? No, this is it. Shoot, this is all there is. No, this is it. This is the life you've been waiting for your whole lifetime. This is it. Well, shoot. I want more than this. Well, this is today was what you planned yesterday. Now, Pastor Chris, every year, is it July 13th, 14th, 12th? What's the year, the annual time y'all go to vacation? See, 23rd through 29th. 84 of his family members, relatives, what's the day to get 23rd through 29th? It's there. When he came to work for the ministry, now, July 23rd through the 29th, and I know you won't mind this. Hope it would be all right with you. And they have the most wonderful time, and they love each other and enjoy each other, but it's planned. They don't wake up on the morning of the 23rd and say, why don't we all get together? Call American Airlines, see if we can fly, see if they can get a good deal. That's not the time to get a good deal. You can't plan everything. There's enough surprises. But you've got to start. God's a planner. Anybody that schedules marriage supper 6,000 years in advance is a planner. And the power of your life is in the plan. Now, you've heard me say that. We talk about men being anointed, but in Scripture, it was the plan that was anointed. Joshua was chosen by God, but lost the battle of Ai, and he comes back to God and screams out to God, and God said, shut up, quit praying. And he gave him a plan for ambushment for the city of Ai. The anointing was not on Joshua, it was on God's plan. And I don't care how clever and how righteous and how pure Noah was. He had to follow the divine plan for the ark to be saved. Plan. The power of your life is in the plan. The terrorists know that. a sinner with a plan has more power on the earth than a believer without one. Well, Mike, where in the world do I start? Well, you've started. Actually, half your life's already gone, so you're there. So it's now. I want to go do one more. I have a tab I call General Information, and I want to tell you what goes in there. You can only do something you see. Now notice where this is. Notice that's General Information. Let's go there. Okay. That general information can be anything from passwords that you need to, pardon my, I hate to go this quickly on some of these things, but I want you to get a good picture of this. I want you to see that you can start organizing your life and get some pictures of how to work with the day. Now, this can be passwords. Good. Now, let's say that suddenly you're with somebody, and I'm sure you've had this to happen. Someone's telling you how to get to botanical gardens. First, you go down here, and they start telling you direction. I never tire of the wisdom of God. Wisdom is the ability to recognize difference, right and wrong, evil and righteousness, difference in people, difference in a countenance, difference in a moment, like the blind man crying out to Jesus. The dominant purpose for wisdom, and don't you love the wisdom of God? So thankful you're listening today and watching and being a part of the internet, telling others about it. And I hope you're getting, by the way, I hope you're getting my daily podcast every single day on your iPod or your MP3. Every single day, 2 minutes of wisdom. Be a blessing. Sometimes I go a little over because I get excited. I want you to be a part of this ministry. I believe that when you get involved with God, He gets involved with you. I am one of the ministers of the gospel who believe the words of Jesus. I believe every word He said. When He told Peter that there would be 100-fold return on any investment in the gospel, in Mark 10:28-30, I believed Him. When the Word of God says in Malachi 3 that if I bring the tithe, which is 10% of my income, and the offering back to Him, that He would open the windows of heaven and pour me out a blessing I don't have room enough to receive, I believe Him. Why would I believe God about heaven and hell and not believe Him about the blessing of the Lord? I want to pray over the seeds that you have been planting in this ministry. And by the way, I have an incredible gift you're going to love. In fact, it's probably one of the greatest gifts I've ever offered. We're asking the Holy Spirit for 300 partners this week who will set aside a seed of $300 for our outreaches. I need your help. I want you to help me. Not just to feed 1,000 children a day, which we do, or 1,000 families, or underwrite the Wisdom of Asia Bible College, or to underwrite the tent factory in South Africa, or the Home of Hope, but that we can go into 100 countries with the gospel. I'm holding in my hand the Wisdom Quick Scan Bible. The Wisdom Quick Scan Bible. I have never in my life found a Bible easier to read. As you know, for many years I've read the Bible through 40 chapters a day every single month of my life. There is no easier book to read than this Quick Scan Bible. When I found out that I could offer it to you inside of some of the teaching that I've been doing and I'll do today, I want you to have it. Call me right now, plant your seed of 300, and watch God move. He had to follow the divine plan for the ark to be saved. Plan. The power of your life is in the plan. The terrorists know that. A sinner with a plan has more power on the earth than a believer without one. Well, Mike, where in the world do I start? Well, you've started. Actually, half your life's already gone, so you're there. So it's now. I want to go do one more. I have a tab I call General Information, and I want to tell you what goes in there. You can only do something you see. Now notice where this is. Notice that's General Information. Let's go there. Okay. That general information can be anything from passwords that you need to, I hate to go this quickly on some of these things, but I want you to get a good picture of this. I want you to see that you can start organizing your life and get some pictures of how to work with the day. Now, this can be passwords. Good. Now, let's say that suddenly you're with somebody, and I'm sure you've had this to happen. Someone's telling you how to get to botanical gardens. First, you go down here, and they start telling you directions. And they sit there, and you can literally draw your little map. And you have it. And you don't have to get it again and again and again. Your bank information. Everything. Now look back at this again. Let's go back to your calendar. Let's go back to June the 30th, which is today. You can write a diary, your notes. Heard Mike Murdock, time management. You can keep a diary that's linked to that day. And because of this little lasso, you can change it to any other thing you want to later, or leave it in there with that day. Everything you want is there. Now there is a little, if you're not into computers, there's a little thing they call a storage device that you can download everything in and keep it in your, which I do, keep it in your safe, so that if this goes blank or somebody steals it, you've got everything just like you have it in that storage device, a little hard drive, a little separate portable thing. Why do I want you to see this? Let's look back at this general information. There it is. Let's do one more just for the sake. Your credit card numbers. Now, you say, well, I don't want people to be able to see that. What if somebody gets that? Fine. Let's just say you don't want that. You don't want anybody to see this general information. So now you got a password protected. Now you can put a password in there, and if somebody stole it or anything happened, you're the only one that can open up that information. Are you there? How many's never seen this program presented in your lifetime? Never have. Me neither. Why do I do this? I don't think I can really help you until you start putting a value to a day. The books you want to read. You can have a tab for the books you want to read. One of my tabs says A-1 master list. It's my master list of everything I want to accomplish. Books I want to write. DVD teachings I want to do. Will you ever do it all? Nah. God's God and hadn't got it all together yet. Still working. Been waiting 2,000 years for us to get our act together. Now, so maybe patience is part of the equation. But movement, progress creates pleasure. Progress creates pleasure. As long as you're making progress, you're creating pleasure and significance in your life. Now, we've talked about this tonight, and I think they've gone back and forth. Brother Rod, you've been able to switch here and back and forth to switch. Isn't that wonderful to be able to do that? So right there at your house, we've been able to show you the importance of a day. And why is this important? Nobody's teaching it. The world systems grabbed it. They grabbed it. They have entire sessions. And I was going to show you, there's all kind of little things that you can get. There's little Palm Pilot. There's little gadgets like this called PDAs, Personal Digital Assistant, that you can use. And it has something not near this great, but you can, your calendar, and keep your appointments and keep your addresses there. And I literally can go here. I can pull up, I want to show you something. I can pull up Notepad, and I literally can write with my finger. Call. I'll call, instead of Pastor Chris, I about worn you out tonight, hadn't I, Pastor, giving you. I literally can write, call Jeannie Cal with my finger. What are you saying? I'm saying you're going to have to find a place to put information, retrievable, easy to see, one place, not 500 notebooks. This is 100 times more powerful than a notebook. You see this? Let me go back here. You got 5 more minutes? How many got 5 more minutes for this? Let me come out of this. This is not mine, so let me see what Windows Journal. Okay. Now, here's my Windows Journal. You're taking notes tonight. Now, I do every note. This is a different program, but it's the same. Every day, and I shared this a few weeks ago and showed you this, every day I have what I call MM Thought World. I'm sitting there thinking, I've got to buy milk. So I do that in red, so I know exactly everything I take notes on. At the end of the day, I can cut, remember this, and paste and put that anywhere. Why is this better? Try changing pens in different green, different. Try changing pieces of paper, but you have everything you took that day, every note. If Morris Cirillo, which he said something last night very profound. Now, my page in mine is divided like this, topic and thought. But he said one of the most important things is to work with people based on how they are and not how you are. He said if you have integrity and you transfer that to everybody you meet, somebody's going to take you. You must discern how they are and work with them relative to how they are. The vocabulary they can handle. The responsibility they can handle. Never put on somebody what they can't perform and what they can't produce and what they can't deliver. You must deal with people based on their limitations. Not your expectations, but what they're capable of doing. Now, if I'm taking notes, I forever have that. I may list that under what he said about people, about disappointment. I have a whole nother method I won't get into tonight. But I put all the topics this can work, that what he said could work in. I put all those topics there for retrieving purposes. Information that's not retrievable is not usable. Where do you document your revelation? How do you dignify your discovery? You say, well, Mike, I love a notebook. I love notebooks too. I love them. I love them. Nothing. It's a joy to hold notebooks in your hand. I love it. Can't get away from it. Still buy. I buy them even using this. I buy them. They're sitting there empty, but I'm buying them. But here's what you can do. You can print this out on paper, leather bind it, and leave it as a legacy for your children. A mother can write her thoughts and what things her child said. Can write down what her child said that day. Keep it, and 20 years from today, 30 years from today, say, baby, I want to show you what you said on July the 1st. You want to develop the habit of an information system. If you see something like in a store, if you see a car, if you're passing by and you see a house, oh, I want to remember that. You simply write that house number down, the phone number down, and it's forever there. I think pieces of paper are going to drive you crazy. And someday I'll tell you something. Let me tell you, I will tell you. Let me tell you what a lack of order will do. The other day, and I hate saying this, but I want to impress you the importance of order, and I'm willing to make myself look like an idiot for your sake. Oh, I'm so spiritual. I'm just so that's like the Apostle Paul, for your sake. But it's needed. I work very hard. I don't have a problem working, workaholic, all the rest of it, but I want to accomplish something. I tell everybody I've got a whole eternity to dance and shout all over heaven. But I want my life to count. It's my mother's favorite song that I ever sung. Make my life count, Lord. Make my life count. I pour the oil where the wounded are found. People hand me pieces of paper by the hundreds. Business cards, pieces of paper. Do this. Envelopes. Mike Murdock. I don't care where I go. I'm going to come back to a hotel room with business cards, letters, envelopes, and pieces of paper. Now, you know as well as I know that you can't do everything. I get home, I'm exhausted, I'm at a hotel. I came back from a meeting the other day and I got 4 different email addresses and there was over 200 emails in one. And less than 30 people have my email address. Actually, less than 20. If I never made a new friend, I've got enough to last me for about 300 years. I don't really need another friend in my life. Or try to understand. I got enough. I got more than I ever dreamed to do. And before you say you need to delegate, talk to the staff and see if I delegate. Do I delegate? Oh, I don't? Some of them are a little slow there. Shoot, have I ever got a plan for y'all? Well, access will create demands. Demands will create expectations. Unfulfilled. Can you want to write that? I think I'm through with this part for tonight. Can you put that up there? Access creates demands. Demands create expectations. And expectations, unfulfilled expectations, create disappointment. Disappointment creates adversaries. I'll walk you through that again. Access creates demands. Demands create expectations. Unfulfilled expectations will create disappointment. But I ask you, you never did that. Why didn't you do it? Disappointment creates enemies. Right now, I'm at a very difficult place. Dual, and it's not my fault, I won't say it, but 3 major groups of people have requested and somehow thought they were having the same 3 days of my life. 2 are extremely upset if I don't. The 3rd probably is so gracious, feels different. Access will create demands on you. If somebody has access to you, they've got your phone number, they got your email, eventually there's going to be some demands. Demands will create expectations. I ask you, now when are you going to do it? I told you I needed you to read my book, read my manuscript. I've got preachers waiting right now for forewords. They've been waiting for videos. Congratulations on 10-year anniversary, 20-year anniversary. They're stacked up. Is that right? They're stacked up. When are you going to get these to us? So I may be as casual and look at you, how are you doing? God bless you. But every moment I spend with one person, my backlog is waiting. To help me understand it. It's there. It's gaining. And nobody grasps that. Nobody understands that. No sense even getting into it. It's like you're telling your children, we don't have money for that. We'll just write a check. You know. Unfulfilled expectations create disappointments. When you don't meet somebody's expectation, and disappointment, when people get disappointed, now they're adversarial. So you must decide the access. A major preacher running thousands of members said, Mike, you're too easy to get a hold of. I said, what do you mean? He said, I can call one person and get right through at your office to you. Well, I thought that was being nice, that I told so-and-so to let him on through. But it created a picture for him that I didn't have enough to do. Now, back to my story. So I've got these pieces of paper. I've got these envelopes. And they're anything from resumes to prayer requests to complaints. I've waited 3 months, never got that book that everything. It's like you're a reservoir. You've got all of this. All of this. Now, I've got to explain each one of those things to a correspondence secretary, a business manager. I've got to break this down. This guy said he never got his book in tapes. Please add. This guy said he sent this. This guy said every person. Now, I've got to explain each of that to different people. So I walk out in my travel room where my luggage is and things where I have laid out where I get things to go. This is my travel room. It's where my briefcases, all my stuff ready for travel is in that room. And out of the, I don't know where it came from, there's an envelope. A very typical envelope. Dr. Mike Murdock. I had no idea where it came, sealed. I had no idea why it's out there. I had no idea if somebody went through my luggage and interest. I had no idea. I've never seen the envelope, but it looks like many that I've received. So I started to get it, so I just bring it to the mail room. I thought, well, I'm here. I just opened it. And inside is an incredible letter. Incredible letter. Written to me 4 years ago from a major businessman in Manila. The letter was a phenomenal letter of how much I changed his life, changed everything in his business. And it was a phenomenal letter that I had never responded to from 4 years ago. And I remembered while reading, everybody, as I walked out the church that night, me and Dr. Rob Thompson, with Dr. David Sumrall, people handing me pieces of paper and envelopes and business cards and lawyers saying, everything that you could name handed to me. I remembered getting in the van with all these stacks of business cards and paper. And you say, well, just didn't get to answer him. That's sad. No, it wasn't sad. It was an incredible letter. What was sad was inside was a $100,000 check that I had never cashed. I think we need to go to a Chinese food place and just eat ourselves into oblivion. $100,000 check. Order. Disorder is so costly. Do you feel sick? Sicker than I can tell you. It's laying on my brand new, not because I bought it new, it's just unused, exercise bicycle beside my bed. That letter's laying there with a $100,000 check from 4 years ago. And it's nobody's fault but mine. Oh, I want to. Well, shoot, that's me. My Lord, can't do everything. I can. But I'm the guy. Where it came from, I do not know. I guess somewhere it fell out of a. I don't know. Fell out of some luggage. Somebody just. I don't know. Housekeeper. I don't know. $100,000 check. Legitimate, credible business, a major business in Manila. And if you're watching from Manila, I want to tell you that I have moved my faith up from 100-fold to 1,000-fold return. If you want to resend it, I believe now it will multiply more than it would have 4 years ago. God had a divine purpose. Sick. Just sick. Sick. Order. Try not to take on more than you can handle. Try to get help for everything that you need. Try to delegate anything another can do. Never mow your grass if you can hire it done for under $8. Don't. Whatever it takes for you to work with your life, get it in order. Sooner or later, something like that will happen to you. Sooner or later. A famous preacher, I won't give you his name because he's on up in years, he's still alive, told me an incredible story. Very famous. Attends all the Benny Hinn's, close friend of Benny Hinn's. Benny has one of his meat programs. Precious man. He rushed out of a place one night to go to his plane. He was on his way to a plane, and an old man tried to get close to him, and all the man's handlers and bodyguards tried to stop the man to protect the man of God's focus. And the brother just said, "What? That's all right. What is it?" The old man came up, said, "Brother," and he said, I've been trying to get, and he named all the preachers we know, famous preachers, that I tried to get so-and-so, but he's just really too busy and said he couldn't meet with me, but I just, and he stuttered his way through, thank you for giving me this time, but said, my time is pretty well come and gone on the earth, and said, I've been trying to, there's an offering I've been wanting to give, and said, I tried brother so-and-so, and he couldn't meet, I tried this one, he couldn't, but I'm just so thank you for taking the time. And says, I want to leave. And he left that ministry and that preacher and that man of God over $1 million that he had gone to preacher after preacher trying to get so he could say, this is something I want to do for your ministry. I think there's a thousand good things around our life God wants to get to us. I think I've lost more than I've ever received. I think I have lost more than I ever received through not having order. Through not having order. That's why it's important to you. I hope this helps you tonight. And I know that didn't sound when I announced last week that I was going to teach on time management. It's not a miracle service. But if you'll get a hold of a day and you'll start working with a day, get some dreams, get some goals, put them in front of you. Get some basic task, reading, learning, some things you want to do and accomplish with your life. I think everything you'd ever want God to do will be accomplished in your life. I didn't know if I'd ever share that publicly because it made me look too stupid. But don't it make it? It wasn't even your 100,000. You feel sick already. Oh, my Lord. I never tire of the wisdom of God. Wisdom is the ability to recognize difference, right and wrong, evil and righteousness, difference in people, difference in a countenance, difference in a moment, like the blind man crying out to Jesus. The dominant purpose for wisdom, and don't you love the wisdom of God? So thankful you're listening today and watching and being a part of the internet, telling others about it. And I hope you're getting, by the way, I hope you're getting my daily podcast every single day on your iPod or your MP3. Every single day, 2 minutes of wisdom. Be a blessing. Sometimes I go a little over because I get excited. I want you to be a part of this ministry. I believe that when you get involved with God, He gets involved with you. I am one of the ministers of the gospel who believe the words of Jesus. I believe every word He said. When He told Peter that there would be 100-fold return on any investment in the gospel, in Mark 10:28-30, I believed Him. When the Word of God says in Malachi 3, that if I bring the tithe, which is 10% of my income, and the offering back to Him, that He would open the windows of heaven and pour me out a blessing I don't have room enough to receive, I believe Him. Why would I believe God about heaven and hell and not believe Him about the blessing of the Lord? I want to pray over the seeds that you have been planting in this ministry. And by the way, I have an incredible gift you're going to love. In fact, it's probably one of the greatest gifts I've ever offered. We're asking the Holy Spirit for 300 partners this week who will set aside a seed of $300 for our outreaches. I need your help. I want you to help me. Not just to feed 1,000 children a day, which we do, or 1,000 families, or underwrite the Wisdom of Asia Bible College, or to underwrite the tent factory in South Africa, or the Home of Hope, but that we can go into 100 countries with the gospel. I'm holding in my hand the Wisdom Quick Scan Bible. The Wisdom Quick Scan Bible. I have never in my life found a Bible easier to read. As you know, for many years I've read the Bible through 40 chapters a day every single month of my life. There is no easier book to read than this Quick Scan Bible. When I found out that I could offer it to you inside of some of the teaching that I've been doing and I'll do today, I want you to have it. Call me right now.
plant your seed of 300 and watch God move.